स्वागत है आपका एक बार फिर से लर्निंग विद बंटी भैया में, जहां मैं और मेरा मेकशिफ्ट व्हाइट बोर्ड कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि आप कुछ नई चीज़ें सीखें फ्रॉम द सप्लाई चेन पर्सपेक्टिव। आज हम बात करने वाले हैं MRP या फिर मैक्सिमम रिटेल प्राइस की। अब बिफोर वी स्टार्ट इनटू द टॉपिक कि आज हम क्या कवर करने वाले हैं, MRP इज समथिंग दैट मतलब बेस्ड ऑन व्हाटएवर 10-12 कंट्रीज आई हैव बीन टू, इंडिया में ही आई हैव like more or less seen, like you get to see the prices in like these retail stores outside India, but जो प्रोडक्ट के ऊपर MRP लिख के आता है ना इंडिविजुअल, वो इंडिया के बाहर मैंने अभी तक कहीं नहीं देखा है। पाकिस्तान में होगा तो होगा, जिसको जाना हो जाके देखे, हमें तो जाना नहीं है। ठीक है, सो लेट्स ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाई डू आई नॉट सपोर्ट MRP। बट तुम उसके आगे भी देख पा रहे हो, एक बट के आगे 3 लाइन है, बट at the same point I do understand what is the need right now, and this is the hope. The 3 dots basically represent the hope that over time we'll get rid of it as well. So supply chain perspective में बहुत logical बात करेंगे। ठीक है, तो let's say कि ना एक मैन्युफैक्चरर है इन हरियाणा, उसका नाम है बंटी भैया मैन्युफैक्चरिंग। ठीक है, वो एक प्रोडक्ट बनाता है जो एक्स है प्रोडक्ट का नाम। अब क्या है, उसके 2 सेलर्स हैं, एक है लेट्स से
दिल्ली में, एक है कोलकाता में, दूसरा है मिजोरम और तीसरा है केरला। ठीक है, अब डिस्टेंस ऐसे मुझे नहीं पता, बट लेट्स से इसका डिस्टेंस इज x किलोमीटर, डिस्टेंस इज x प्लस समथिंग, ओके मे नॉट, लेट्स नॉट कॉम्प्लिकेट, कॉल इट y, दिस इज z एंड दिस इज a।
ठीक है, ये हमारे डिस्टेंस है, ये हमारा मैन्युफैक्चरिंग प्लांट है यहाँ पे डिस्टेंस, ये हमारे रिटेल स्टोर्स हैं यहाँ पे इन सिटीज में। अब जो सबसे बड़ा फैक्टर है जो प्रोडक्ट के लिए चेंज नहीं हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है कि जो भी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कॉस्ट इस प्रोडक्ट की थी वो तो सेम है, इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ वो कहाँ जा रही है, राइट। द ओनली थिंग दैट वेरीज इन दिस एंटायर थिंग इज दिस पार्ट व्हिच इज डिस्टेंस, क्योंकि हर there is a transportation cost involved. जो transportation cost like zero, like it takes like one brain cell to realize कि जो transportation cost होती है वो generally distance पे depend करेगी। तो let's say yeah, so coming back to this distance, right, all of this X product will have, I don't know, some transportation cost which varies per kilometer, right? So rupee per kilometer, let's say. Now tell me, right, and based on MRP, right, everything that this product is supposed to be sold at 100 rupees at the end. Okay, just to make it a little more simpler, just BBM is again the ice cream shop, right? The cost of this ice cream is 100 at MRP, whatever the cost is in bill, whatever, right? All the difference transportation, all the difference in the transportation cost we'll ignore for a second, but at the end, this is what I can legally sell it for, and selling it over the top of it is actually crime, right? But tell me, in what world is it logical that a product going from Haryana, let's say Haryana to Delhi, which costs 100 rupees, I can accept. The same product going from Haryana to Kolkata, covering at least 3x the distance, still costs the same. Going to Mizoram, maybe like 5x, still costs the same. And this goes here and still costs the same. Now I understand, like, this is again just to represent the idea behind why do I not support MRP. I know there are a lot of things, because to keep this cost, there is a lot of contracting that goes in. That, for example, if I give you a contract for this much, you will only charge me irrespective of transportation cost. We're not going over there. I'm just trying to put the basic logic that why do I not support it, and why does it not make logical sense, and why do you not see it abroad. Now, this is one of the reasons why I don't think that MRP makes sense. The second and it has also a couple of impacts, right? For example, if you have been to remote, if you do not travel only luxury in India and only the mainstream destinations, if you have gone to some local parts and rural parts of India, you would realize that there's a possibility that the BBM, while it reaches Mizoram, for example, it has already costed a way too much to the distributor, and at the end, basically anyone involved between this entire process. So what you would see is instead of the ice cream from BBM, you will have some competitor PBM, which is much closer to Mizoram and offers the same product or a similar product, right? So you would see a product like that, maybe priced at 90 or maybe 100, right? But there's a possibility that Mizoram retailer might not have the BBM product because it's costing them way too much at the end, or the profit margin for the Mizoram retailer is way too less when he looks at the offer from the PBM manufacturer. So these are the kind of things that you would notice on ground, and these are the reasons why it happens. For example, let's say there's MDH masale, right? And by the time it reaches to some local thing, you would not find MDH or something like PDH, which essentially is similar product, sometimes even cheaper than the mainstream product, but it has a better cost, a better profit margin for the retailer, so they will prefer this one. This is the reason why Bisleri, Bilseri, Bismeri, whatever, all the products came into existence, that they could do it cheaper, and they provided better profit margins for the retailer. Now you would assume the same thing that it can happen in countries like US or anything. For example, let's say, I don't know, maybe wrong, but this is something like US map, right? So there's New York here, there's SF here, and somewhere here, let's say it's Texas, if I'm not wrong, Texas or Arizona, let's say. There's a manufacturing plant here, right? And the product goes here, the product goes here. Now the reason, okay, sorry, just taking a step back, US or any country that I've been to, they do not have the concept of MRP. The reason being is, of course, this is different. The distance actually matters, but you could find the product in $1 here or $1 here. But again, as I mentioned, there are a lot of things that goes into this entire uh, concept of products reaching there in whatever pricing, and depending on what is the cost margin that people want to have. But the idea that they do not have it and it still works, and you would not find a lot of difference. For example, let's say there's another product which is in SF, it's like $2. In New York it could be 2.5, at Walmart 2.8, at Target, or I don't know, like $3 at a not a bigger chain, but like some retail store, like there's one in New Jersey, let's say, I forgot the name, some Walter Williams, right? So the idea that I'm trying to tell you, it still works over there, is basically because of reasons that we do not have. So it works because people are generally more aware of their laws, customer rights. The second is justice, which means if I can find them overcharging beyond a point which is like not logically acceptable, I can actually file a case, I can sue them, and then the justice is very fast and effective. Now let's discuss the but part of this, which essentially is why I feel that it's still gonna stay for some time, but I hope we get rid of it over time. So let's start with the history. Based on because India was ruled by multiple sorts of groups, and the most recent ones were Britishers, and at that time we had multiple groups of people controlling different parts of the society, different functions in the society. They had different roles. So we had this habit of, I actually not had, we still have it, and we love the concept of hoarding. And whenever that specific society, let's say there were shopkeepers, they would hoard material, and based on how the demand looks, they will artificially increase or decrease prices. The second is the awareness of people. I think people in India are still not aware about their customer rights, how they can do it, where they can file it, what is the process. It translates into the third problem, I would say a branch of awareness, lack of awareness, because while there is a justice process, we have a customer forum. A lot of, like, a lot of the times the 10 rupee or 20 rupee that you're trying to save, it's not worth the long and tedious process that we have. But I feel it is slowly going away. For example, you have things like discount, right? Let's say there's a product which is marked as 100 rupees, but they're all giving you 20% discount. So it's 80 rupees now. So you're not essentially paying MRP. And the second place that I feel has given up on MRP, or like at least has made the MRP concept a little translucent, is online channels. I don't know if you've realized, but some of the times you would see a product marked as 2,999, but you only pay like 14.99 because it's online. You're again not paying at the MRP price. And the third one is the dynamic pricing concept. It means a good or service or anything which, based on again the demand and the supply, the time of the year, the, let's say for example there's some event coming up, the prices may go up and down. So again, you're not paying MRP. Yeah, but at the end of the video, I would just reiterate the same point. I do not support MRP from a supply chain perspective, but I do understand why it's still here. But I sincerely hope that government does something around it, because MRP doesn't benefit everyone equally. It does benefit the consumers, but I would rather have the same quality product reaching everybody than to have substandard products in the market where the quality may not be as good as a top rated player. But yeah, for now MRP is going to stay as an anchor. I do hope that we get over it. We try to sort of find some mechanism in making sure that the cost without the MRP as well is not very varied. People are getting the quality products that they deserve, and also that the goal that we have for for us to become a developed country by 2047, I think we need to look at our peers or the countries that have already achieved this and how have they done. But for now, stay happy, stay healthy. I'll see you in the next video.